Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches Series 11. And this is today's sketch, and it's by Mel, who's Mel W. Scrapbooking here on YouTube. I'm not going to have as many pictures. There's not going to be 5 on top. There'll only be 2, and then I'll have 1 down lower. But I'll do a few substitutions with a couple of the other things too. Nieces, and for the top, I'm going to use that garland. And I do have 2 photos in there. I just don't have 5. And I am showing, well, that's some 49 and Market, Tranquility, I believe it's called. And I'm going to mix it in with Simple Stories, Vintage Weather Garden, and have a little bit of different colors in there. And well, I'm not going to use no enamel dots, and I do have 2 packages there, but I don't end up using any. But I will use something out of everything else on my layout. And I'm just showing it all there. Now, on the sketch, there is some mixed media and stenciling on the background, so I'm going to do both on mine. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. And I'm using that chalk paint, and that is I think it was English gray. It seems to have just a little bit of a bluish color. Well, it had blue in there because I had to really shake it good to get the blue not to show up as a streak through there. So yeah, it has a little bit of bluish tint. And I'm using weathered wood for my stencil, and I'm using that Tile Mania. I love that one on there. And I started to put the paint down first. And then I thought, well, if I went over the top of the paint, it is kind of chalky, and the the it might not go down very good. And so I just decided I'd put the stenciling first after all. And I'm just using some corrugated cardboard to put my stenciling on there. Stenciling. I guess it would be stamping. I'm stamping with corrugated cardboard. I was wanting some lines with the paint, and so I just put it on the packaging and then uh, just laid the cardboard in there so I could get those lines on my paper. My string wasn't the color I wanted it. It was pretty white. So I just went ahead and added some of the weather wood to it. And I'm going to end up using it on a heart in a little while. I backed my photo and gutted both of the pieces on the back of it because it's that 49 and Market, and both things had designs on there. And I thought, well, if I gut it, I can use them on another layout, maybe even this one. But oh, and the one right below the photo, I think that's Naturalist. I wanted something lighter colored, and so I pulled that out of the Naturalist. But everything else is the Tranquility. I used one of I believe it was a sticker, and I put it on white cardstock. I think it wasn't this layout; it was left over from another layout. On the top there, kind of as a tab. And if you look on the layout, it calls for torn paper across the bottom. Well, I'm using torn paper while it's vellum, and I'm just tearing a piece to put behind my photo. I'm inking it with pumice stone and the weathered wood, and I'm putting some wrinkles in it too. And I'm just going to put it underneath the photo. And really, I didn't even stick it down. It stuck to all those little sticky squares on there. I went ahead and done my garland in advance. All of it's on foam tape, and the ones with the pictures, it has the foam tape on the frame, and then the photos shadowed down lower. And then I had to, and that just got plain double-sided tape on it. But then the other part had the other foam tape, so the heights would match all the way across. I pulled out several, well, quite a few actually, of the laser cuts from the Tranquility, and I am going to put them around the layout. This piece here, I am not sure what it's supposed to be. A fleur de lis, maybe? No, it's not like that. Anyway, it's pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and use it on my layout. And I wanted to have something to glue so that it could stay on there better. I am going to put a couple of things underneath it to help it raise up, some a flower with foam tape under it. And I kind of clipped the edges up there on the upper right so I could put my heart down. Well, kind of tuck it in instead of laying it behind or over the top. I wanted it to do some tucking. And I started put this flower down and I thought, well, I'm going to have a lot of it kind of wasted. And so I'm going to move the other piece. I am not sure where I moved it to, but I will put it on there, the part that I cut off. And it will have foam tape on it. Oh, it's one of the things that went underneath that little, cute little, whatever that is. It went under it to help hold it up because it was way too little for me to put some foam tape on there. And so I was trying to figure out another way to do it. I put that one branch of leaves there, but I had pulled out two, and the other one I'm going to kind of cut apart so that I can have little bits here and there. And I love that flower there. Well, it's like 4 flowers, 3 or 4, but it's got all these swirly little stems. And I thought, well, I can't cover them up too much. I like them. I want them to show. So I made sure that I put the greenery underneath it so this could go on the top. And let's see, where am I at now? I put that heart down and you cannot see it, but over to the right, I have a punch. And it is a 2-hole punch for buttonholes, as they called it. That's what it was for. I've had it a very, very long time. Anyway, I didn't know how good I'd get those centered since I didn't want to pull it all up. I had it stuck to that pretty little thing on the bottom. And well, I'm just going to have a go at it and see if I can do it. And I think I did it really, really good considering there's times that I didn't have it stuck to something and I didn't get it centered quite as good. So I was pretty proud of how well it centered. And I put my inked up twine in there. Well, I think it's crochet thread, it's not twine. And used the 2 little holes for my bow. I considered after forgetting it, just gluing it down, but I thought, man, I went and got it out of the closet just to use it on here. I want to make sure I use it because, I'm trying to use something really, really old every time well, not every time I do a layout, but at least once a month. But I think I'm doing pretty good because I've done quite a few times lately. I'm just adding leaves and greenery right now. So while I'm doing that, I want to mention that down there below, you'll find the master link for Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. So all you have to do is click on it. You'll also find a link to the Facebook group, which you can join if you haven't already, and find lots and lots and lots of different layouts with the same sketch. And each one has a folder, so whichever sketch you're interested in, click on it and scroll down. I mean, there is plenty. And then there's also Instagram, which use the hashtag, and it's down there below too. My pictures are my 2 nieces, and they were at my house one day, and my sister-in-law was down from up around Chicago, and she had brought her camera, and she took this picture of the girls, and I've scrapped a few she took that day, but I had not scrapped this one, so I wanted to make sure it got scrapped. And then I just pulled out one that was really similar and used it for the 2 little photos on the top. And I'm trying to work everything in there. I'm looking to see where I'm at. I will have quite a few more flowers to put on there. I did enjoy myself putting all these on here. My title is going to be that chipboard over there at the right, and it's Life is Good. And I used one of the stickers and I backed it with, well, I believe it was a scrap from the 6x8 paper pad, and it says, "We are family." And then that little fancy thing in the front that I really like. It seemed like it needed something on it. So I put one of the little chipboard things that says together on it. And I put the circle up there in the flowers, and it says live, love, laugh. There are so many good things on that sticker book that you can use on your layout. I mean, all kinds of words. And I love words on my layout. And of course, the banner itself, it has a couple right there on it. And one says better together. I had to be really careful. I almost put that one on down at the bottom, but it already said better together. So I made sure I did, and I caught myself. And then there's one that's the little things. And then, of course, I tucked in love this at the last minute. It's not on there yet, but it will be on there. And the flowers that I showed in the plastic container, when you get the laser cuts, you pop them out of the cardstock. And there's plenty left on there, so I used my punch and punched out flowers from it. I punched the bigger flowers, and I punched these little teeny tiny ones. And so I had plenty to put on here, and they're all pink and green. So they go really good with the colors. And you can see how many I got. I bet I got a few hundred on there. But yeah, there was plenty of extra spaces on there for me to punch out. And they made really good little additions to this layout too. But to look at the sketch, I do have the banner across the top. Hers is all photos, and I have 2 out of 5. And then I have the mixed media and the stencil layer across the back. I do not have 3 photos, but I have 1, and then I have a cluster beneath it that's pretty good size to make up for the other 2. So I stuck fairly close to well, I used it as inspiration and still kind of stuck close. I did a few substitutions, but I had the layout in mind the whole time. I am using the white linen by Dilutions. For my splatters, there was already some white splatters in the background, so I thought I'd go ahead and go with it. Although I was reaching for the bookworm green before I happened to glance and see the spots on there. So I guess I'll just go ahead and go with the white instead. But I had a lot of fun doing this layout and using this sketch as my inspiration. And you really need to go check the Facebook group out and try your hand. You can always print the sketches out, or just put them up on your computers. Well, I do it on my iPad. But yeah, fun sketch to do. And there's my fancy little thing down there at the bottom of the photos. I am not sure what to call it. It's a die cut. It's just a fancy die cut. And there's my cluster there on the left, and you can see the vellum sticking out. So there's my torn paper. And there's my cluster up there at the top. I wanted things tucked in, and those worked out really well. And of course, the banner up there across the top of the page. But if you leave a comment down there below, I'll try to get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you who already are, thank you so very much. But I hope you all have a happy scrappy week. Have fun with that link down there to the master list, and checking out Facebook and Instagram. Bye.